Hello, my name is Heiko Meyerdirks. I'm a senior engineering manager at Autodesk. Autodesk is a leader in 3D design, engineering, and entertainment software. So it's a bigger American software vendor. I'd like to tell you a little bit how I became member of Autodesk. So 11 years ago, I was working in a startup in Potsdam, what's the capital of Brandenburg, which is a state in Germany. Potsdam is located relatively close to Berlin, you may know. So I was there working as a head of product in a startup with about 20 persons. And we got acquired by Autodesk because we had developed a software that was really interesting for Autodesk to their portfolio. And the challenge or the fascinating thing for me at that point of time was that when we got acquired, Autodesk was a big company with 7,000 employees at that point of time, working globally. And I really found that fascinating, that I was able to work in a company that was global, with a lot of different product teams, with a lot of different departments and the worldwide culture, and was really looking forward to that. So I was really eager to work on the products we had developed and integrate them at Autodesk. So I would say that was one of the big first thing, but was of course key to become a manager at Autodesk, that it's really interesting to do this transition from a startup to be part of a bigger company. Um, it's different to work in a big company. I do like it because it has this big global aspect of it, and you have a lot of resources and possibilities to do things, but it's of course also challenging. Um, the second thing I'd like to say about the manager in general, and I wouldn't say it's relevant for Autodesk itself, it's just being a manager at all, is really when you think about being a manager, uh, what really made the difference for me, especially, is that you really want. So I would say being a good manager means that you really have a big interest or a strong interest in helping your resources and your team members um, to build their own career, to reach their own goals, to be successful and to be happy. It's not about being a manager because you just decide things. At least it was never for me. I had a strong interest to help my team to be successful. So I always thought, let's do this together as a team and also help every single individual to be successful. This is something I've figured it's not very common that someone studying computer science is super fascinating and building the best algorithm of the world for a dedicated problem. Yeah, most of the time not really focused on helping an individual and another individual also reaching their goal. And that's absolutely fine. Don't get me wrong. That's okay. That's great. You need those people who really have the goal to build the best algorithms and the best code. And it's not so common that you'll have someone who loves to code and also to really loves to coach. And I would say that's a good spot to be in if you like to be a manager, if you have interest in both. I would say it's better, by the way. I would say you need more people who love to code than you need managers, of course. But it's definitely a valid spot to be in. And I'd say that the thing what really makes a difference being a manager is if you really focus on the success of your team members and you really want to integrate your team in the bigger company. In my case, that really made a difference. Um, we were successful as a team, becoming part of the Autodesk global company, and we emerged. We built more products. We got integrated into other product groups, and it was yeah, it was a pretty successful story. I didn't want to go too much into the details. I would say the key thing here was really that I really enjoyed helping my team getting integrated and not just think about what I could do and reach. As that, there's no, I don't want to judge that at all. Each of the engineers really should have to focus to build the best algorithms. That's absolutely fine. So that really would say was one of the key things from the transition from an engineer towards a manager. And I wouldn't say that's really relevant if this is Autodesk global, not global, whatever. I think that's just the key thing about the manager, in my opinion. That's how I see it. Um, there's also another thing what helped me, I'd say, is that I've never really focused on a position in my life. I always focus on doing the stuff I love and I totally live for. So for example, I have not really hurried to finish my degrees. I studied overseas a year, took the time to travel, and that helped me a lot. When I started my education at the university, I started with mathematics. Um, I found it really interesting to do mathematics. I still do, but I also figured that I thought it's kind of I was missing scope and side views and the broader view of things. So in the end, I studied physical geography and computer science. So I wasn't really focused 100% on computer science, and that got me a much broader view of the things I do. And I think for a manager, that's a good skill because that helps to put things into context and helps to see the bigger picture. That took longer. Um, so I was actually 27 when I finished my master. I finished two because I had one overseas, I had one German. Um, but it totally paid off, I'd say, for me personally, and I never had the impression that it was a disadvantage in my life. So I would say don't rush to things just to accomplish something you think you should have. I would say you should focus on things you really love to do and you're good at, or you want to be better at because you really would like to do that. And I wouldn't hurry into something and expect too much about positions or things like that. That's really what I would say, well, as what helped me. Whenever I did that, I was successful. um, I also got asked sometimes, what's your biggest professional achievement, for example? And actually, I don't know, because I have a lot of things I'm pretty proud of course, but it's hard to say what's the biggest. Maybe there may be two things here. One is the technical one, the technology one. Autodesk has a lot of desktop products, and we of course transition to the cloud as well. Actually, we really try to participate in leading the whole industry towards the cloud. So we develop our products that they become from desktop to cloud connected to cloud centric. I have a key role in that. I'm really glad I have the chance to have a significant part in that for some products. And this is really, it's really fascinating. A lot of customers, they all have to adapt. You all have to help them how to do that. You have to change the technology a lot. This is a big, fascinating challenge. I do it for years now, and it's really good. It's a really good journey. And it's not done yet, so I wouldn't call it achievement. The second thing I'd like to call out for that, I think, for me, one of the biggest achievements is to make sure we have the small site here, what's not in our main country, the US, and it's not in a fancy city you would build up an office just because you would like to be there. And to have the site since 11 years integrated in a big global company, even it's not our mother tongue, and everyone's happy. And I have really small retention rate, and people like to join and to visit us. The office is nicely integrated. And I spent a lot of effort on that to help to be that the case. And I think that's one of the good achievements I did over the last years. But as I said, as a manager, it's hard for me to speak about my achievements because actually it's the team doing the achievements. I helped them doing that, and in the end, it's great when the team achieves something. Right. I think that's it for today. Thank you very much to listen to me, and maybe see you at some point of time. Bye bye.